Since the early 1900s, the Strip District has been the culinary center of the city of Pittsburgh. Every day, thousands visit the Strip for fresh produce, fish, and to sample the widest range of cuisine in the city.
Yeah, well, people don't come here to the Strip specifically to eat lunch. Well, they come down for the specialty items. They come down for homemade pepperoni, homemade sausage, homemade super center, prosciutto, the different variety of cheeses that I have, the olive oils that I carry. A lot of them come down for me too.
I love the Strip District. It's got everything you want in here. It's got every culture, every aspect of life you could want is down here.
It is Pittsburgh.
This is Pittsburgh?
Most definitely. I mean, if you want to find out what it's about, come to the Strip, for sure.
There's such a variety of different produces and meats and fishes and, you know what I mean, and all different ethnic groups down here. I think that's what brings people down here.
To me, Pittsburgh is a curious blend of like the Midwest and the East Coast. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It has its own flavor. In the language, I'm sure you've heard yins and all that. So no, I can't really put it in words, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess the best way to describe it is to eat it or to listen to it, you know?
It's different than anywhere else. I mean, the buildings are old, the people are friendly. So many different walks of life, you know. There's rich people, there's poor people, there's white people, there's black people, there's Chinese, you know, there's every different type of person you could imagine. You know, if you sit out here and have a coffee in the morning, people will sit out here and have a coffee and they just watch the people walk by. You see a bunch of crazy things. People are selling everything on the street on Saturday. People from trying to, you know, hustle a flower to, you know, people raising money for good causes. You know, you really see a bunch of different stuff. So,
family values are key. Coming down the Strip is not even close to going to China. You come into Jimmy and Nino's.
Yeah.
I know you by your first name. I know all your children's names. I know your grandchildren's names. I more or less know your family history because, in essence, if you think about it, those people are an extension of my family. That's just how it is. It's all one-on-one. It's all camaraderie. In that respect, this is a labor of love.
We're a family business, family restaurant. In the beginning, it was just like me, my mom, my girlfriend. My stepfather would come down and help on the weekends when we were a little busier. And I think people like that family atmosphere. When they came in, you know, I have a 7-year-old daughter, so they all, you know, they watch her grow up. We have pictures on the mantle of her. You know, when she's a dance recital, people come in, they show me pictures of their family. I kind of watch them grow up. A lot of regulars. Weekend, there's so many people down here, not so many regulars, but during the week, it's just a lot of regulars, you know. You get to know them and kind of build a relationship, you know what I mean? More than, they're not just customers, they're friends.
One thing that's really particular to Pittsburgh is that everybody's really, really nice and willing to talk to you and willing to like small talk about nothing, even if you've never met them. So that's definitely true in the Strip District. Like you walk into like Holy's and like they're just the people who like own it are just in there like ready to chat with you about your fish.
Yeah.
You know? It's a really, really pleasant experience.
Have you?
Personally, I try to embrace each customer. I greet them, offer them a basket. Try and strike up a conversation with them, help them with any products that I can. It's really cool. Try to remember their name. It's important.
It's not as if I just have individuals come in here. Whole families come in. In some instances, I have 4 generations of family coming in here. The great-grandparents, the grandparents, fathers, their mothers, and their children. I'm 60 years old. I've been working down here since I was 13. First job I had was loading up people's cars and trucks because predominantly back at that time, the Strip was strictly wholesale. If you were going to shop down the Strip, you bought by the case or you didn't buy at all.
Since the 1950s, the number of wholesale grocers in the Strip District has dwindled down from 71 to 6.
this year we're celebrating our 100th year in continuous successful business, and we're promoting some. We're having a video made, and have some promotions coming up this summer to celebrate that. Well, my younger brother, who heads up the company, directs all the departments and everything. And my younger brother, Dan, is in charge of the e-commerce business, the shipping and packaging we ship product throughout the United States. I'm the second oldest of nine children, and I've worked here. My father asked us to participate in the business, start working at the early age of 12 years.
Well, Vincent Henry's, I think it's been a restaurant for 90 years, and it was owned by Vincent Henry DeLuca. And I think it used to be, I saw an old picture somewhere where it used to be just like half of this, so it's like really narrow. And Vincent Henry DeLuca, actually, yeah. And Drew and Chris bought it about 20 years ago. Drew and Chris Micret, the owners, married couple. They were truckers before, he was a over-the-road trucker, long haul. And her family has always been in the restaurant business, so I guess it was sort of in the blood, so to speak. And they opened DeLuca's about 20 years ago. The rest is history.
Originally, my grandfather and his brother started Sincero's. Nino and I are third generation in this business, and we're also going to be the last generation in this business. Between the two of us, Nino and I have 9 children. Out of that mix, we have doctors, attorneys, CPAs, school teachers, principals of schools, IT people. Nino and I always made sure our children got their education. Consequently, none of the children need to follow in our footsteps. They're blazing their own trails.
I do see us evolving, provided the fourth generation embraces the business, and we can encourage and bring on some members of the family in the fourth generation, which we are currently working on. And it's difficult in any family business, particularly for the fourth generation or fifth is unheard of sometimes. Well, presently there are none that are working here. The nieces and nephews that I do have live out of state, and they have their own careers.
Well, it changed specifically in one respect, simply because there aren't any more the mom and pop stores.
Yeah.
That used to be the nucleus of our business. It's also changed in the fact that the family unit is smaller than it originally was. It's changed because families aren't as close to each other as they used to be.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, in the past 10 to 15 years, we sold some of our businesses off, and we were in the wholesale distribution of wholesale fish to restaurants and hospitals and so forth. We sold that off, as well as our federal cold storage business. We were in that several years ago. That was probably the turning point.
Yeah.
That's what I miss most about the Strip, are the different vegetable and fruit vendors out and everybody on the street.
You have to realize that the type of business I do today versus the type of business that we were doing, let's say, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, it's not the same. It's a lot harder. It's a lot tougher. There's a lot more competition. The hours are longer. The work, in as much as it isn't as strenuous as it used to be, mentally it's very, very tasking and very, very fatiguing.
While this is the end of an era in the Strip District, newer blood has embraced the switch to retail and sees the culture and unique identity of the Strip District surviving for another 100 years.
Everywhere else changes and modernizes, and down here kind of stays, has stayed the same for 100 years, it seems like. I mean, how many businesses? Penn Mac's over 100 years old up the street, The buildings haven't changed much. I've been here 12 years and I haven't seen anything building go up or down like a new building. So.
Sure, like I said, we may get new flooring or new upholstery, but the flavor will always be the same. That's another thing that I think is kind of distinctly Pittsburgh as well. I don't know, change isn't, it takes a lot to change things in Pittsburgh. I think people sort of hold on to those like familiar values and whatever, foods, culture.